Okay. I don't know how this will come off. I don't even know if my internet will stay up throughout this entire rant, but I have to try. I need to ventilate my love and my issues with Borderlands 3. Personally, from my experiences playing the game, which has last since I played the game since launch, I've noticed two issues I feel like are really holding the game back from not only being a massive success, but another issue has built itself upon those two and has made them even worse. I'm not wording this right, but this is what happens when you just get really upset at news and decide to just jump into a rant. Yep. Gotta go through those two lag spikes. 1, 2. Here we go. Basically, there are two issues. There were two issues that I felt like were holding the game back, and now with power creep, they've gotten even worse. So far, this is going fine. In fact, these enemies are pretty much melting to the weapon I'm currently using. Well, if I can actually hit them. There we go. But, yes, I'm sorry for doing this. I just really am not getting my words right now. This is why you should just pre-record your audio and just put over gameplay. But instead of me just teasing the point like some guy trying to sell the secret of financial happiness and they're getting $1,000 per day, I'm just gonna say it. I think the three biggest issues of the game now are power creep, event-only items, and level cap boosts. These three issues I think are holding back to what Borderlands 3 is meant to theme on, and that is build diversity. I used to hear a lot about how they wanted each character to be heavily built upon builds, and wanting each player to be individualized with their builds. However, I feel like they had that months ago with Mayhem 1.0 and original 4 Mayhem levels. The only issues holding those Mayhem levels back being the modifiers, so a combination between too simple and at the same time too frustrating, with people constantly resetting the game in order to get some better combinations. Particularly from when it came to Mayhem 2 and Mayhem 4. Once Mayhem 2.0 came out and added all these Mayhem levels, while at first it was fun being able to set whatever Mayhem levels we wanted via random modifiers, the massive difference in enemy statistics, as I'll show you in just a moment, eventually led to people's positivity turning around, at least for a certain portion of the fan base, as I've seen from YouTubers I've been following. This is Mayhem 8. And this is Mayhem 10. And in order to get my point across, so we will go and say, you're just fine playing on a Mayhem level you want. Not particularly, because I did go the distance, and I did farm out all the best loot I could find for Mayhem 10. And as frustrating as that difficulty was, it still wasn't worth it in the end. And the reason why it wasn't worth it is something I'll show you in just a moment. I know this is very loose, very inconsistent, but like I said, this is just coming from this is coming from someone who's been holding all his opinions back for a long period of time, has now just started ranting about it. This is a Mayhem 6 weapon, meaning I could only farm this, like everybody else, on Mayhem 6 and above. And look at how a Mayhem 10 version is doing against Mayhem 8 enemies. While it seems like it's doing fine right now, One of my biggest issues with the Mayhem difficulties, combined with other two issues I said before, event-only items and level cap boosts, are what is making Borderlands 3 not worth playing. In fact, it's those issues combined with one that's kind of recently come up with nerfing that really do ruin this game for me. Look at how much ammo it's taking killing a Mayhem 8 enemy with a Mayhem 10 weapon that's only found on Mayhem 6 and higher. This weapon is infamous for being not worth farming on Mayhem 6 through 10 due to the fact that it just wastes ammo. And wasting ammo is really horrible on the higher Mayhem difficulties due to how much damage each enemy takes. This perfectly reminds me of why I left Borderlands 2. Finally, I stopped talking incoherently and losing track of my own opinions and start getting to what I think is the biggest issue of Borderlands 3. I think it's turned to Borderlands 2 where everything just turned to a massive case of power creep, but without even some of the foresight that actually went into Borderlands 2. Because when this first came out, the items you see here, which most of which came from the Loot Explosion perk, which I have in the Mayhem system, wouldn't scale to Mayhem difficulties. You see these Mayhem numbers? They didn't have Mayhem numbers before, and to make matters worse, they didn't even have Mayhem stats added on to them. To say this was a massive issue was an understatement. Not just was Loot Explosion almost useless before due to the fact that guns did not drop at Mayhem levels, but even certain enemies didn't drop Mayhem level items. This is one of the massive bugs of the Mayhem difficulties, and they just fixed the Loot Explosion once they ended the Cartels event. The Cartels event being the event in which I got this assault rifle here, the Atlas OPQ system. That means that I cannot get this item legitimately until that event comes out again. The reason why this is an issue is because there are already rumors of there being a level cap boost for the next DLC coming out this week. And once that level cap boost comes out, once I get the max level, or if I do so, because I don't see myself playing this game for too much longer, this weapon will become almost completely useless. Sure, it's extremely powerful, but due to how high that HP scaling is on Mayhem 8 alone, forget out Mayhem 9 and 10, it's not going to see much use. It's not going to see any use. It's just going to go up on my wall and stay there. Just like the gas call, just like the wet invitation, just like every single event item we've gotten so far. Funnily enough, after the Halloween event, a level cap boost came in, and all those terror builds people made over those Halloween items have just never been talked about again. Outside of, yeah, that was fun for a while. After the second event, the Valentine's Day event with the wedding invitation, a sniper rifle so lauded people considered the best in the game, boom, level cap boost, 4 more levels, and nobody talks about it again. Now people gravitated towards certain other sniper rifles like the Skull Masher, which now can actually drop outside a chest, meaning with actual Mayhem levels. But once the level cap comes in, it's going to take a while for that to be useful, but hey, it used to be useful since you can find it. Can you find the yellow cake? No, but people won't find it anyway since it was nerfed. Can you farm the no pew pew? Nope, because that was a cartel weapon, and it won't be farmed legitimately until possibly next year. This is a massive issue because for a game that's trying to talk about build diversity, where it wants you to be able to use whatever you want to create your own builds, we won't be able to use a mass amount of items, not just because of the power creep, but also because of the level cap boost, making weapons that are only farmable for a certain period of time completely pointless. The 2 months I spent trying to farm this perfect Atlas OPQ system has been made pointless because of not only a possible level cap boost, possible, so take my words with a grain of salt, but also because the anointment you see there has been completely nerfed. Before, only one of the HP bars on enemies were considered the bar it factored in for the damage boost. Now all three bars are factored in towards a damage boost, making it less viable for anything outside of one-shot sniper rifles and one-shot rocket launchers. But enough about that. Time to show a bunch of other now useless weapons for the Mayhem difficulties. This is the Western gun. It's actually my favorite gun to use back in the original 4 OP levels. It has an anointment that pretty much doubles its damage when my action skill, the Sentinel, is out. And this is the damage it's doing. Barely anything worth looking at. It's decent, but look at what's doing to a badass enemy. And please note this is Mayhem 8. Imagine Mayhem 10, where they have 4,000 more health across the board. And that's not a big of an issue. The amount of damage you can do yourself with splash damage thanks to these weapons is even worse than it was before. If it wasn't for me using the Transformer Shield, I would instantly kill myself with a shock damage from the Atlas OPQ system. This is an issue when it comes to bonus damage anointments, where if those are active, like bonus fire damage, bonus shock damage, etc., I would instantly down myself. This is a fact. I have done this many times before, and the fans can tell you the same. Instead of stuff like that being patched shot where you could absorb shock damage from your own bonus damage anointments, they focus on nerfing items that are considered too powerful. The Callison, which you get from this boss, nerf. The Yellow Cake, which you can't even get anymore without asking a modder or getting lucky if someone just happened to find a coded version of it, you're just out of luck. And all this just... I wasn't paying attention when that was. I need to look at it. And all this just really has been killing the experience for me. I loved this game when it first came out. I defended it from people who said Borderlands 3 wasn't that good, saying it hasn't gotten all its content yet. Give it a while, let everything come out, and then judge it. Because Borderlands 2, in comparison, it's been out for almost 8 years now, and it's gotten so much content, it's ridiculous. In comparison, Borderlands 3 has not even reached its 1-year anniversary. And yet, in almost poetry, with each new update after Mayhem 2.0, I've been losing my faith in this game. I used to love this game. I played this game for more than 18 days worth of hours. But between the constant item nerfing, like, as I said before, the Callison, which drops from this boss I just killed, like the 300/90 anointment on my OPQ system, like the Yellow Cake, which I don't even have it anymore, and like the Hellwalker, which was nerfed after people started using it a lot. It really does ruin why I'm playing, why me and many other people playing the game. We're playing it to farm new loot in order to see what it's like. But what's the point of doing so if too many people happen to use that item you found on your own and you fell in love with just for the game to nerf it? That's what happened to the Hellwalker. That's what happened to the Crossroad. That's what happened to the Flacker. That's what happened to the Ion Cannon, the Vlad rocket launcher. And that's what happened to Callison. That's what happened to the Yellow Cake. That's what happened to the over 90 anointments. And now, with each update, I'm worried about them doing the same to the OPQ system. Look how powerful that is. How do I know they're not going to nerf it somehow? I know they're not going to turn the accuracy into complete garbage. Or something else. And it's because of this is why I've been steadily losing motivation to play this game. I'm sorry my rant was so incoherent at first, but I should give myself more time to think about what I want to say. And that's what I want to say. The level cap will make the OPQ since I spent 2 months trying to farm completely useless. Because I can't get another OPQ system legitimately, it means I have to stuff this one in my bank or my wall for almost an entire year, or ask a modder to make one for me. So what's the point of farming that? And with each new nerf, because too many people are using a weapon I decided to use, which is going to be more often considering how these OP weapons they're nerfing are the best weapons be new mayhem modes. That too is going to ruin my motivation. What's the point of farming if I'm not going to be able to use it for long before the game nerfs it? And yet, while I tried venting this out to some Borderlands fans, they basically just tell me it's fine, the event items will come back. So I just have to sit on these powerful, fun weapons to use, like the gas call grenade or the OPQ system being useless for a year for Gearbox decides to add them in again before another possible level cap boost. That's not well thought through. As I said, it kind of does kill the build diversity thing they've been talking about back when the game first came out. And not only that, but the health creep they keep adding to enemies also just keeps making more and more builds useless. When's the last time an Amara player ever talked about a melee build? When's the last time we've ever heard a Zane player talk about a cool, calm, collected build ever since Mayhem 10? Back when the difficulty systems were more simple, back when it was generally Mayhem 1 through 4, yes, to some players it was too easy. And you know what? That's fine, that's their opinion. Heck, I could see where they're coming from, since I could solo the Model 1 takedown back in Mayhem 4 with the true takedown set on. So yeah, if one person can do that when they're not a build setter, I can see that. However, back then the game was extremely fun for me and a lot of other players, as I saw from certain polls on YouTube. Back when it was that simple, people could make as many builds as they wanted. When's the last time we ever saw a Lucky 7 build? When's the last time a melee attack can kill an enemy without having Slayer equipped? Slayer modifier equipped. When's the last time vehicles ever did damage? When's the last time action skills like the Sentinel drone did damage on their own, instead of just setting up for players to be able to do better damage? And I know people say, don't worry, melee damage, vehicle damage, and action skill damage are going to be scaled now with the added update. Yeah, 1, 2 months late, and 2, that doesn't speak for all the weapons that are almost completely useless, that fans barely even touch or look at, like the Jacob's Flood, the Jacob's Companion, the Model 1 Wester gun, the Torg Foursome, the Torg Occultist, the Hyperion Bitch, still the Hyperion Jackhammer. Many of these weapons are almost completely useless on Mayhem 10. And this game has more than 300 legendaries, and most of them are not worth looking at on Mayhem 10. Because that's how much the health creep is. That's how insane the health creep is. And to some players, yes, I get it. It is more challenging to them. But to some other players, it's just boring. The fact that the only difficulty added is just making enemies tankier. If these Mayhem modifiers were back in the original Mayhem 1.0 and Mayhem 4, I'm sure that would have been relatively difficult. In fact, I think they could find a better way of adding difficulty by just finding ways to make vampire lifesteal builds less viable, which I think is a better way to approach it. Because Borderlands 3 is still relatively easy, it's just now more tedious. With a Vladov Infinity and the Zane Salvation build, along with the one class mod every player uses, including myself, to be fair, to Seeing Dead, he's immortal. Just keep lifestealing. And I think that is part of the reason why Borderlands 3 is not that great of a place. It's just like Borderlands 2, in a sense. Everybody's going for the exact same builds, and it's not relatively fun. Yes, this Atlas OBQ system is doing great damage. Yes, it's killing these enemies. But it's one of the only weapons I can find that does this much damage. Let me equip the duck and see how it does. Actually, no. Since I don't have the duck on me, let me try the Yeti. Once I actually learn to land a shot. If it took more than one shot, you were definitely using a Jacobs.
I'm on fire! But not literally.
And now look at how much pressure this one enemy takes. This guy wasn't even anointed. Let's see if an anointed enemy spawns. They love to spawn. Thankfully, they did reduce the enemy stats, but it only made the common enemies easier to deal with. But you're still going through ammo like a coke fiend. To some players, this probably does seem like it's too easy, but like I said, and all the time I spent trying to farm, the only weapon I enjoy using that's actually powerful enough for Mayhem 10 is pretty much OPQ system. Everything else I've enjoyed, like the Companion, the Maggie, are barely viable anymore, if at all. Like I said, the Webster gun was actually my favorite gun back in the Mayhem 1.0. Now, oh look, an anointed foe. Let's see how long this takes. I don't want to make those players who enjoy this sound like they're less intelligent for doing so. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm not that type of person. I don't want to attack your intelligence for not enjoying something like Troy Baker would for people who don't enjoy The Matrix. But this is one of the easiest anointed foes to take on. Look how low my ammo is just going through one area. And that's because if I use anything else, I'm not gonna do much. Look at this one guy. He's not even an elite. He's not even a badass. And now he's finally down. And I just have to wait a few years for that to go away. I'm not gonna fight the enemies up there. I'm gonna look through to see if any of this is good. Chances are no. Oh, there's the crossroad, and it has the anointment that is now useless. Which is, yeah, another issue I have. When they nerfed that anointment, so many items I use that happen to come in that anointment are basically massively nerfed. So if anybody at Gearbox happens to see this, I don't want this rant to come out as, oh, you guys suck, do exactly what I want, the game will be better. No. I'm not speaking from that place. I'm not speaking from a place in which I think I understand how everything works, and think if you conform to what I want, the game will be fine. No, I'm not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't think I know everything. My main point is, there are so many items in this game that are still... Why is this not with any Mayhem stats? That, you know, that's besides the point. Yeah, Mayhem is on, that's... Okay. This incoherent rant is over. But before I end everything, let's go to a boss, and let's see how bosses are on Mayhem 10. Which is the main crux of my points. That is, for some players like myself, this isn't enjoyable. And like I said, I don't want to make those players who do enjoy this seem like they're less intelligent, seem like they're more simple-minded, because they're not. There are people with different opinions, and they enjoy it, that is fine. But this isn't my issues are not issues that are easily answered by just going to Mayhem 8 or Mayhem 7 or even Mayhem 9. between the item nerfs, between the constant level cap boosts, and between the event weapons, farming is just not as enjoyable as it should be. Because if I happen to pick up a weapon that is popular, chances are it will be nerfed. That's what happened to me when I fell in love with the Hellwalker. That's what happened to me when I fell in love with the Flacker. And that's what happened to me when I decided to pick up the Callison, because it's one of the only guns that did well on Mayhem 10. So I can't really ask players what's the best weapon to use, because chances are it's one of the most popular weapons and it's going to get nerfed. I know Gearbox said they'll try to nerf items less, but they've still been doing so. And nerfing does ruin motivation, or at least it has for me. This is a rather stupid bug in the game. Sometimes fast travel stations don't appear, and that's just great. My main point is, my motivation to farm has been diminished between all these things making farming less viable, and just making a more viable strategy to just be wait for months until they announce the final level cap boost, they announce the final DLC, and they stop nerfing items, and then I come back to the game and just farm the Claptrap Pit and the Handsome Jackpot DLC on that max level. That's a much better strategy than actually playing the game, getting new items just so those items be nerfed. I went on my way to farm a Yellow Cake because it was a good rocket launcher for Mayhem 10, and because other people have been enjoying it, and because it was considered too powerful, it was nerfed. Because the Callus is one of the only good guns for Mayhem 10, it was nerfed. And as some players who might say just find other weapons, I've been trying to do so. I just haven't been enjoying the ones the fans consider most popular. And because of that, and because of my own personal taste, it's just I'm not able to enjoy these Mayhem levels because the only weapons that can survive are not very fun for me. I want to be able to play this game using whatever weapon I want, but now it feels like I can't enjoy the game period while using the exact same build as everybody else. The same with Borderlands 2. For players like me who enjoy looking for less viable guns, making most out of them, like I did the Wester gun, and like I tried to do the Companion, no such luck. But before I go, I want everybody to I want the possible 2 people to see this on YouTube to see how enjoyable it is to fight these 2. This is one of the best weapons in the game, mind you. I can't kill you just yet. Let's move so he won't tackle, because the tackle sequence in these guys are bugged. Like that time where it actually hit twice. Hopefully I could get him to try to tackle again so I could run in a circle. Sometimes that doesn't work and they just keep charging at you forever. Being able to swerve almost perfectly is actually hilarious in a strange sense. I'm almost 500 bullets in, I haven't killed this guy yet. If you don't have a cut purse build, i.e. the cut purse relic and a grenade and a fish slap grenade that deals melee damage, you're going to be running out of ammo all the time. But I'm unlucky because I haven't found a relic that has the perks I want.
Got it.
That took almost, it's around 700 bullets. Almost exactly 700 bullets. But yeah, that's my fault. I'm not using the same build almost everybody else is, so I deserve it. I need to play exactly like everybody else. That's what Borderlands 3 has turned into, essentially. Build diversity is dead. What I enjoyed in Borderlands 3 is ultimately dead. I enjoy the idea of being able to approach this game any way I want, the same way I could God Eater 3. In that game, I go to Crimson Ashlands with a short sword instead of the biting edge, the best weapon in the game, and I could still make it. Yeah, it's a struggle, but I could still make it. Here, I can't even have fun with the frustration not playing at the high-end level many other players are. I don't mind not killing enemies as fast as other players, but having to go through almost 1,000 bullets in order to get from one bandit area to the next, like in Conrad's Holds, is not fun. Like I said, I know I'm not using the guns that are best fit for the situation, but those guns aren't ones I enjoy. It's the same issue with Borderlands 2, where the only guns that are viable there were the Sandhawk, the Uncapped Harold, the Pimpernel, the Grog Nozzle, and a few others. But because I didn't enjoy those guns, it was my fault for not playing it the way everybody else did. Because I was an accident who wanted to use the Maggie, I was wrong, and I couldn't enjoy Ultimate Volta mode. I don't mind challenges. It's just, this isn't a challenge, it's just tedium. And you want to see how tedious it is? I'm gonna try doing this one more time with one of my favorite weapons. As I said, the Western gun was my favorite Borderlands 3 weapons. I had so much fun using it back. It was way back when. And you know what? Because this is Mayhem 8, it's not for Mayhem 10, I'm just gonna use the Yeetie Basher. I hate saying that name. Back with the original 4 Mayhem difficulties. The only issue with the randomness of modifiers, if they just had the set modifiers like they do now, I think it would have been perfect. Maybe add a Mayhem 5 that added 2,000 to 3,000 without adding Mayhem stats, because I honestly think Mayhem stats are kind of a crutch. They're like the OP levels in which you're just relying on stronger weapons to survive instead of actual build diversity, which is what the game originally founded on. Back then, those weapons were powerful, but it was more of your build that brought out their best capabilities. From the Soul Render to the original Q system, yes, those guns were good, but it really was what you did that made them the best weapons ever. Now, that's not the case. I'm sorry this rant was so incoherent. I know I said that many times, but this is what happens when you don't script it. Next time I have a rant, I'm gonna try creating some bullet points and just going through them. Oh, fuck me, the crutch. This is what one of my favorite assault rifles has turned into. I'm surprised they're missing more often now. Normally those attacks always hit, and I mean always. I'm gonna run out of ammo with my assault rifle before these guys die. That's because almost every weapon I can find, I either don't find fun to use or just aren't designed for these Mayhem levels. Even with the Mayhem stats at maximum adding 142% to raw damage, they don't make it. They don't hold out here. And I feel like this is where Borderlands 3 just falls apart. Back when all the weapons were relatively the same in terms of damage regardless of Mayhem level, it was more entertaining because that damage output only brought you so much. It was through your own efforts that brought you the rest of the way. Now, it's not like that. Basically, you gotta grab the same small handful out of the 300 plus legendaries or else you're not gonna make it. all the legendary weapons they put so much effort in making, the Jacob's Unforgiven, the Atlas Link, the Hyperion Crossroads, especially after the nerf, the Torg Occultist, the TDR 10 Gallon, all the weapons they put so much effort in designing, and more. The Atlas Carrier, which used to have builds in back original Mayhem 1.0, the TDR Scorpio XL, all of them are useless. And that's just sad. That all the weapons they put in the effort making, all the weapons they wanted to see incredible builds, they made impossible to put in the builds thanks to these new Mayhem levels. If anybody makes a Mayhem 10 carrier build that happens to crush Mayhem 10, crush the Guardian Takedown, as we've seen these massive clickbait all caps titles, if anybody managed to do that, I'll delete this video and I'll apologize. I just don't think we'll see that. For me personally, due to the nerfing, due to event-only items, due to the level caps making those event-only items dated, and due to the power creep, I don't find Borderlands 3 that fun to go back into. Back before all this, I couldn't put the game down. Now, I can honestly play Final Fantasy 7R over this. And Final Fantasy 7R is one of the worst games I think I've ever played in terms of structure, filler, and overall design. It's just a hallway again. And that's sad. I know the game still has a fan base. I know like Borderlands 2 is going to keep going without me. I'm just one player. I'm not going to make much of a difference. It's like that person that says, I'm subbing. Who cares? You're just one person out of possible millions. I'm not saying this as if my opinion is any sway. I just want my opinion out there. I want it to be there somewhere. Whether it be in this video full of jumbled up stances and incoherence, or in a message full of typos in my phone's autocorrect, it's better than nothing. I made my voice heard. I don't particularly enjoy Borderlands 3 anymore. And okay. I'm not saying the game is dead. I think only idiots say that, personally. It has a fan base. It's not dead. It's not Battleborn. That was a joke, by the way. I used to play Battleborn. It's a joke. I'm just saying I can't enjoy this anymore. I'm gonna still be here for the last 2 DLC stories for the first season pass because I paid for it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna really bother as much anymore. I'm not gonna bother talking to fans online because whatever items they suggest are probably just gonna get nerfed later on. I'm not gonna play on Mayhem 10, I just don't find it fun anymore. And I'm probably not gonna engage with this game after the first season pass. I'm gonna go back to Fortnite because when I save the world, because that has much better balancing to it. Thanks for listening to anybody out there who sat through this and like the little ghost town in the stream. It's fine, I don't have a viewer base, so it's okay. And to Gearbox, I enjoy Borderlands 3. I get what you're going through with the current situation in the world right now, with the Wu flu. I'm joking, go ahead and call me racist, whatever, with the coronavirus. I get it. You're working at home, and of course issues are going to come out. That's why Mayhem 2.0 came out with so many issues. That doesn't take away why the fact are legitimate bad decisions that are contradicting what you made this game to be. A game that's meant to have a bunch of individualized builds. And to some people who say, you can make those individualized builds, you just can't play on Mayhem 10, just go back to Mayhem 8, whatever, and shut up. That doesn't cover my other points. That doesn't contradict me elsewhere. My issue to OPQ system, especially being dated with no level cap, is still an issue. My issue not being able to form another wedding invitation until February, when it might be dated again to the next level cap, is still an issue. I'm just listing my reasons of why I think I can't play Borderlands 3 anymore. And if anybody has some really good arguments of why they think I'm wrong, sure. It's just doesn't take away my personal feelings. I think I'm honestly done with the game. I love it, but it's just too much. Sorry.